So we want to let you know today is a very important day. Today is World Stroke Day. And here in America, someone suffers a stroke every 40 seconds.
And it's predominantly older Americans who we hear about all the time who are at risk. But our guest today says younger people also need to look out for the warning signs. For more, we welcome Nikki Schaefer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for telling your story to us. We appreciate it. I guess kind of
you.
go back, take us to when that happened and what it was like.
So it was a month before my 39th birthday, and it was a typical work day for me. I had worked all day. I had a couple meetings. I'm a lawyer.
Okay.
I actually went to meet a couple of colleagues at a bar, and before I even had a drink, what I can only describe as like a whoosh came over my body, and all of a sudden I felt incredibly off balance, and I went to tell the people I was with that something was wrong.
Yeah.
And the words couldn't come out of my mouth. I could think them in my head, but I couldn't get them out of my mouth.
Wow.
It was very scary.
What were you thinking was happening to you? Because at 39, almost 39, right?
Mm-hmm.
You probably didn't think it was a stroke, right?
Definitely not. I had no idea what it was. I thought maybe it was the flu. When I got home finally, and I did a bunch of very stupid things in that moment. What I should have done then, because I had all the signs of a stroke: face, arms, speech, time to call 911.
Which talk about that face,
fast.
fast.
Yes.
So like a face drooping, your
Yes,
face was drooping a
face
little
drooping, arms, like my whole body, my whole left side had gone kind of weak and numb. So my arms were weak, and my speech, I couldn't get words out of my mouth. So I should have called 911 then. I did not. I had people walk me to my car. I could get in my car, and when I was sitting down, it was a little bit better. And I drove home.
Wow.
And which is so scary.
Yeah.
And
Do you ever remember that drive?
Not really,
Wow.
no. And then I continued, I had some work I needed to do that night. I continued to do a little work. I Googled some symptoms, and I diagnosed myself with vertigo, which I did not have.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow.
And so I ended up not going to the hospital, not doing anything, went to sleep that night, slept for a very short period of time, thought I'd wake up feeling better, and I did not. And I still didn't go to the hospital. I didn't go till the middle of the following day. So I'm really lucky to have gotten my faculties back.
Yeah, and I mean, the main thing is, and it was developed here at the Cleveland Clinic many years ago, but they say, really, when you have a stroke, minutes, hours, but minutes count because of that clot-busting drug that can completely change A, whether or not you survive, but B, the symptoms that you're last with. I mean, so seconds, but also too, your brain's not working right. So probably you a couple days later would say, I should have done this, but your brain's not working right too. You have to really rely on people around you to say, you're not okay, we need to call 911 or get you to a hospital.
And I think because of my age, and I looked basically like I do today, except a little bit younger. No. But it wasn't, I don't think I looked like a person who would have a stroke.
Sure,
so
you look
I think
healthy,
just as I was in denial, everyone else was in denial. And I happened to be incredibly lucky to have had the outcome that I had. But so many people in my shoes are not as lucky, and it's so important to read the signs. And even there were signs that something was wrong with me health-wise before, and I didn't heed them. I should have known that my blood pressure was spiking. I should have seen a doctor about that.
You figured it was lawyer stress.
And just
a new
life
mom, you have young kids,
and
at
who
the time,
has time. But I think a really important message that I want to get across is that you've got to take the time to take care of yourself, because all those things that you're busy doing, you can't do them if your body's not able to do them.
So true.
When as we look at some video of you running, which now you are taking care of yourself a lot better. So talk about your experience with that and how that seems maybe helping you out.
Yeah, so I had always actually been a runner. In the months before my stroke, I think I had gotten so busy with work and with life, I had stopped exercising regularly. But when I got my balance back, the first thing I wanted to do was run, and I really make it a goal to work out at least a half an hour every day, and that's usually running, maybe going on the elliptical. I also think sleep is incredibly important. I learned a lot about the damage I did to myself by sleeping so little, so I really try and get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day.
It cleans out that lymphatic system in the brain to be able to,
Exactly.
so one of the things with Alzheimer's, they talk about it as well. We can't thank you enough for bringing the awareness to this as well. I just had one quick question. Do you think when you had the stroke, do you think you would have had the wherewithal if you had your phone to dial 911 and maybe hand it to somebody?
Absolutely.
You would have been
I
aware-
would've-
that
I would
aware
have
to
been
do it?
able
Okay.
to do it.
Even if you couldn't speak?
Even though I couldn't speak, I could, if I concentrated really hard, I could get the words out of my mouth. Again, on the scale of strokes, mine was not as severe as many other people's. But the people around me, had they have known, I mean, they could have done that for me as well.
And they're young too, so
Right.
it's something that you're just not thinking, but you just truly never know.
You never know.
It can
And
affect
worst
anyone.
case scenario, it's not a stroke and you end up being fine.
Right.
100%, and you
Right.
get it checked out.
Great
You
point.
are amazing, and I know you being here with us on Fox 8 will definitely help people and probably save a lot of lives.
Thank you so
So you
much.
are very
Thank you for
courageous.
having me.
And your kids are now 13 and 15.
Yes, they are.
and
And I thought they would be really excited about me coming on this show today, but
Yeah.
they seem sort of unimpressed, as all teenagers
Yes,
are.
Right.
well, if we had you on TikTok, maybe they'd be
Right,
excited.
it'd be all different.
Yeah.
You
Thanks
are
so much,
awesome.
Nikki. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Nikki.
Thank